Welcome to One Chapter, One Thought. I'm Pastor Chris from Lincroft Bible Church in New Jersey, and every weekday I read one chapter of the Bible and offer one brief devotional thought. Today's reading is from the book of Proverbs, chapter 29. Whoever stubbornly refuses to accept criticism will suddenly be destroyed beyond recovery. When the godly are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked are in power, they groan. The man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but if he hangs around with prostitutes, his wealth is wasted. A just king gives stability to his nation, but one who demands bribes destroys it. To flatter friends is to lay a trap for their feet. Evil people are trapped by sin, but the righteous escape shouting for joy. The godly care about the rights of the poor. The wicked don't care at all. Mockers can get a whole town agitated, but the wise will calm anger. If a wise person takes a fool to court, there will be ranting and ridicule, but no satisfaction. The bloodthirsty hate blameless people, but the upright seek to help them. Fools vent their anger, but the wise quietly hold it back. If a ruler pays attention to liars, all of his advisers will be wicked. The poor and the oppressor have this in common. The Lord gives sight to the eyes of both. If a king judges the poor fairly, his throne will last forever. To discipline a child produces wisdom, but a mother is disgraced by an undisciplined child. When the wicked are in authority, sin flourishes, but the godly will live to see their downfall. Discipline your child, and they will give you peace of mind and will make your heart glad. When people do not accept divine guidance, they run wild, but whoever obeys the law is joyful. Words alone will not discipline a servant. The words may be understood, but they are not heeded. There is more hope for a fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. A servant pampered from childhood will become a rebel. An angry person starts fights. A hot-tempered person commits all kinds of sin. Pride ends in humiliation, while humility brings honor. If you assist a thief, you only hurt yourself. You are sworn to tell the truth, but dare not testify. Fearing people is a dangerous trap, but trusting the Lord means safety. Many seek the ruler's favor, but justice comes from the Lord. The righteous despise the unjust. The wicked despise the godly. One thought. Family life is one of the primary contexts for applying wisdom. We're all with each other almost every day. And so Solomon instructs parents in child rearing in various ways in Proverbs 29. He points out the blessing of discipline in verse 17. He says, "Discipline your children, and they will give you peace of mind and will make your heart glad." Obviously, disciplining your kids is never pleasant. It's not always easy. It can be time-consuming. It can be frustrating. It can be heartbreaking because you're seeing them not act in ways that you hope that they would act. But Solomon encourages us to keep going in our discipline of our children, because when our children heed the discipline that we give them, they give us peace of mind. They make us glad. If a child is undisciplined and faces no consequences for their actions, you're never going to have peace of mind as a parent, because you'll always be wondering, what are they up to? What are they getting themselves into? Who are they running with? They don't build up trust. Now, of course, you can have a child that's disciplined and still hard-hearted and rebellious, but Proverbs share general truths about what generally happens in life. As you discipline your children and they respond to it, they will grow to be people of character. He reiterates this in verse 15. To discipline a child produces wisdom, but a mother is disgraced by an undisciplined child. Solomon points out the results of discipline, and here he points out the results of lack of discipline. When you discipline your child, you point them to the way of wisdom. But if you don't, they'll grow up and cause all kinds of problems. Their behavior will cause disgrace for a parent. And in this instance, part of the blame lies on the parent for lack of discipline. It says they're an undisciplined child. Of course, right? There's those instances where parents do everything right, and a child makes their own decisions because they're their own person. You can't really control them. But that's a different situation than an undisciplined child, a child that lacks discipline because a parent won't do it. So what goes into discipline is, as parents, what goes into discipline? Two things, initiative and consequences. As a parent, you must take initiative and move towards your children when they misbehave. So often, parents will utter threats, but they won't follow through on consequences. And when we do that, and look, I'm as guilty of that as any other parent out there, when we utter threats, but we don't follow through with consequences, our children learn to disregard our word, and that's a dangerous place to be. So we need to take initiative, not allowing our kids to be off the hook for their behavior and what they're doing. And discipline then must have consequences. We can make a lot of threats, but if we lack follow through, we're training our children to ignore our voice. And so the consequences can often look very different from context to context, family to family, but you need to think through, as parents, what are the consequences for my children when they step out of line? And ultimately, remember that disciplining your kids is for their good and sets them on the path of wisdom.